For the first time, Amy Brown is addressing the drug use rumors head-on, and her response is nothing like what anyone expected. Amy Brown, matriarch of the reality TV family made famous by Alaskan bush people, has publicly responded to a wave of troubling allegations about her health and alleged drug use that have set off intense speculation and factional dispute inside her once tight family. The controversy centered on claims made by her son Noah and tangentially tied to the recent arrest of her daughter Rain and Rain's husband Josiah has unfolded over weeks in court filings, social posts, and media reports, leaving fans worried and commentators calling the events a painful chapter in a family long in the public eye. The flare-up began when Noah Brown contacted police to request a welfare check for his mother and sister, saying the messages he had received raised immediate concerns about Amy's mental state and safety. Local authorities carried out the welfare check after Noah's outreach, and the incident has since become one of several flashpoints in a broader, messy dispute that involves accusations ranging from substance misuse to alleged threats and alleged theft. Noah's concerns, made public through a mix of court filings and interviews, ignited a fierce back and forth among family members and followers of the show. Noah's statements were blunt. He told officials and media that he believed Amy and Rain were using methamphetamine, and he characterized his mother as off her meds and visibly deteriorating, claims the family has not uniformly corroborated and that Rain has publicly disputed. The allegations landed alongside police records and legal filings that have complicated the family narrative and prompted sober questions about Amy's health, the role of other family members, and how the Browns, who once made a career of living publicly off the grid, manage private crises in a spotlight. Because the accusations are serious and partly unproven in court, they have been reported as allegations, described by Noah and in related documents. Days after the welfare check incident, Rain Brown and her husband Josiah Lorton were arrested on charges related to a burglary and theft at a rental property, according to court documents and reporting. The charges, which involve allegations that Rain and Lorton accessed a property and removed items including gold coins, cash, and firearms, heightened tensions within the family and gave outside observers new reason to scrutinize claims of instability and criminal behavior. Rain has pleaded not guilty to the charges and denied a number of the public allegations against her. Her arrest and the surrounding claims have become entangled with the family's disputes over Billy Brown's estate and long-simmering personal conflicts that grew more visible after the family's reality show ended. Into that swirl of claims and counterclaims stepped Amy Brown herself. In a rare public statement, and what some outlets framed as breaking her silence, Amy addressed the rumors that she was using illegal drugs and clarified aspects of her situation, acknowledging health struggles while pushing back on certain claims. Her message, posted and shared across a number of small outlets and fan channels, struck a tone of measured defense. She emphasized her gratitude for family support, acknowledged medical complications she has faced in recent years, and asked for compassion while disputing the most explosive characterizations of her condition. Multiple entertainment outlets covering the story quoted parts of the statement and noted Amy's request that the family and public refrain from making assumptions about her medical care. Public reaction to Amy's statement was immediate and sharply divided. Some longtime fans expressed relief that she had responded and praised her for centering her health and asking for privacy, while others said the statement did not fully answer the troubling allegations raised by Noah and by police reports. Online comment threads, many of them run by fervent reality TV communities, ranged from supportive messages to skeptical demands for more transparency. What is clear is that Amy's statement did not end the story. Instead, it reframed it, casting the dispute as a family tragedy being fought out in public forums where fact, rumor, and grief have become difficult to separate. Amy's health history is well known to the public and has been a recurring subject on and off camera. Years ago, she faced a serious cancer diagnosis that became a major storyline for the Alaskan Bush People series. Since then, the Brown family's health updates and hospitalizations have frequently made headlines. Those past issues have shaped how many fans interpret the current allegations. For some, Amy's medical vulnerability makes sensational claims seem especially troubling. For others, it invites caution before drawing conclusions from fragmentary reports. The family's dynamics, already strained since the death of patriarch Billy Brown and the show's cancellation, have made anyone's account of recent events inherently contested. Legal proceedings and public records add another layer of complexity. Noah and his wife previously filed for a restraining order against Rain, asserting that she had engaged in volatile behavior and substance abuse. Judges denied that petition at the time, citing insufficient evidence and procedural problems. That episode, combined with the later welfare check and the arrest of Rain and her husband, creates a braid of legal and interpersonal threads that journalists and legal observers say will be slow to untangle. Court dockets, police records, and filings are the primary sources for much of what is known, and they typically progress slowly, leaving the family's public relations and social media posts to fill the gaps in the meantime. Observers who track reality TV families caution that public narratives are often distorted by selective posting, fragmented legal filings, and partisan fans. When a family with deep public exposure fractures, the initial narratives that emerge are frequently more about emotion than evidence, a media analyst told reporters covering the story. That pattern, in which competing statements substitute for a shared account, appears to be playing out in the Brown household, where different members have issued divergent statements and social media posts that at times contradict one another. For journalists, the challenge has been to report what is verifiable from court and police records while making clear what remains allegation and what is established fact. In her response, Amy asked for compassion and discretion. She said she had been managing ongoing medical issues and that speculation about illegal drug use was both harmful and inaccurate as a blanket characterization of her condition. Amy's words, circulated via small entertainment outlets and social posts, emphasize themes of resilience and family cohesion even amid disagreement. Several family members, including Bear Brown, continued to post images and short messages suggesting the family was attempting to rally around Amy while legal matters were being addressed, though the tone and content varied across sibling accounts. Experts in family law and addiction treatment interviewed by national outlets urged caution. Allegations of substance misuse should be addressed through proper medical and legal channels rather than social media pile-ons. They also noted that older adults with complex medical histories may display symptoms, such as confusion or mood changes, that can be misread as substance-related when the root cause is something else entirely, like medication interactions or untreated illness. The public nature of the Brown family's life, the experts argued, complicates an already delicate situation because every claim attracts intense public comment and speculative coverage. The Brown family's public trajectory since the end of Alaskan Bush People has been turbulent. Following Billy Brown's death in 2021, questions about estate management and custody of family assets prompted internal fights and outside scrutiny. Some family members have chosen to remain in the public eye, while others have stepped back. The show's cancellation and the family's fractured public interactions have created an environment where private problems rapidly become news cycles and social media spectacles. Within that context, the recent welfare check, the allegations by Noah, and the charges against Rain and her husband together create a flashpoint that will likely continue to evolve in court filings and courtroom appearances. Legal experts say several outcomes are possible. The criminal case against Rain and Lorton, if it proceeds, will hinge on forensic evidence, surveillance footage, and witness testimony. Pleas and negotiations are not uncommon in such cases. Meanwhile, civil remedies such as protective orders or guardianship petitions can be filed if family members or health professionals believe Amy lacks capacity or is at imminent risk. Those proceedings require separate standards of proof and can further strain familial ties. Observers expect that any determinations about Amy's care will proceed slowly and involve formal medical evaluations. For viewers who followed the Browns on television for years, the public unraveling is a sorrowful coda to a family saga that once celebrated rustic independence and familial solidarity. Fans who have remained loyal expressed confusion and empathy, Many called for privacy and professional help for those involved, while commentators on entertainment sites debated whether the family's televised lifestyle contributed to misunderstandings about how modern families should manage health crises. In forums and comment sections, opinions ran the gamut from calls for intervention to accusations of opportunistic reporting, underscoring how polarizing reality TV fame can become when it intersects with real-world legal and medical emergencies. What happens next for Ami Brown and the Brown family will depend largely on the legal calendar and any medical assessments that may be requested by family members or ordered by courts. Public statements from Ami and other relatives have provided partial glimpses into the family's state, but have not replaced the need for full, verifiable documentation in court filings and medical records. For now, Ami's request for compassion and privacy stands in tension with Noah's public concerns and the criminal charges that remain pending against Rain and her husband. Journalists covering the story say that they will continue to monitor court dockets, official statements, and verified records rather than relying on unvetted social posts. As the story continues, two threads are clear. Ami Brown remains a figure who elicits deep affection from many fans because of her long history on television and her past health battles, and the family's internal conflicts, now playing out publicly, present both an emotional challenge and a legal quagmire. Whether the Browns can move from public confrontation to a private, evidence-based resolution, one that prioritizes Ami's well-being, is the question that will determine how this chapter closes. In the meantime, reporters and family observers say the responsible path is to let formal processes, medical evaluations, police investigations, and court proceedings establish the facts while the public exercises restraint. Court dockets connected to the theft/burglary case, any protective order or guardianship filings, police reports tied to the welfare check, and any further public statements from Ami, Noah, Rain, or other immediate family members. Journalists emphasize they will seek records and confirmations before reporting new allegations as fact. The Brown family's saga is far from an isolated reality show footnote. It raises broader questions about how fame and the responsibilities that accompany family caregiving intersect in the digital age. For Ami Brown, the immediate hope voiced by many supporters is straightforward: that she receives high-quality medical care, that any legal questions are resolved through proper channels, and that the family, public and private, finds a way to prioritize health and stability over spectacle. However, until courts or health professionals make formal determinations, the details reported so far should be treated as claims and allegations drawn from party statements and official filings, rather than established conclusions. Reporting compiled from court filings, police records, and statements published by entertainment outlets covering the Browns' recent family and legal developments. In the days following Ami Brown's public response, the tensions surrounding the Brown family continued to escalate as more relatives reacted indirectly through social media posts, cryptic comments, and carefully worded updates that added emotional weight but few concrete details. While none of the siblings directly contradicted Ami's statement, the subtle differences in tone between brothers and sisters revealed a fractured family still grappling with how or whether to address the allegations publicly. Bear Brown, one of the most vocal family members online, has maintained a steady stream of posts emphasizing unity, faith, and strength. In several videos shared with followers, he spoke broadly about staying strong through trials and choosing love over chaos, comments widely interpreted as references to the disputes involving Noah, Rain, and Ami. Though Bear stopped short of naming anyone directly, his messaging appeared aligned with Ami's call for compassion and privacy. Gabe Brown, typically more private, posted fewer updates but echoed similar sentiments about family resilience. In contrast, some fans observed that Noah Brown's online presence became more sparse after the welfare check report gained attention, leading to speculation that legal counsel may have advised him to limit public comments while the situation remained highly charged. The Alaskan Bush People fan community, one of the most active among Discovery reality franchises, remains sharply divided. Supporters of Ami argue that she has faced enough medical trauma for a lifetime and deserves the benefit of the doubt. They point to her cancer battle, the loss of her husband Billy, and the family's ongoing legal disputes as reasons why she may appear stressed or fragile without any involvement of illegal substances. Others, however, express concern that the family's tendency to keep issues internal may obscure deeper problems.
Many recall previous family legal issues, arguments between siblings, and public disputes about Billy Brown's estate, suggesting a longer pattern of internal conflict that the show's wholesome wilderness-centric branding never fully explored. Fan conversations on social platforms like Reddit, Facebook groups, and YouTube commentary channels often reflect these opposing perspectives. Some viewers demand transparency, calling for Ami or other siblings to release medical documentation or more detailed statements. Others condemn such demands as invasive and unfair, arguing that Ami owes the public no explanation beyond what she has already shared. The strain of reality TV fame. Experts familiar with the pressures of long-running reality programs note that families like the Browns often struggle once the cameras stop rolling. Public exposure creates a dynamic where personal crises, which might otherwise remain private, become magnified by audience expectations, gossip cycles, and monetized commentary. The Brown family, who filmed Alaskan bush people for over a decade, became accustomed to operating under extreme public scrutiny. Even after the show ended, their lives continued to be followed closely by online communities, particularly when legal trouble or health concerns surfaced. With each public dispute, the appetite for insider information grows larger, putting additional pressure on family members to respond in some capacity. One entertainment industry analyst explained that after a show ends, families like the Browns may no longer have a structured production environment offering media guidance, PR direction, or emotional support, even though the public attention continues.
Without that system in place, disputes that might otherwise be managed privately become messy public narratives. Ami's health, what is known and unknown. Ami's health has been a cornerstone of the discussion, largely because of her very public battle with stage 3 lung cancer in 2017. Her treatment, recovery, and relocation for medical care became major elements of the show's storyline. In recent years, Ami has continued periodic medical checkups, some of which were documented by family members or shared with followers. However, the lack of recent official medical updates leaves room for speculation, which is precisely what Ami addressed in her recent statement. She acknowledged ongoing health challenges, unsurprising given her medical history, but firmly condemned the claim that she was using illegal drugs. Medical professionals consulted by various outlets noted that recovering cancer patients and older adults may undergo medication changes, display fatigue, or exhibit mood fluctuations that can be misinterpreted by family members or outsiders. Without access to Ami's medical records, observers emphasize that conclusions drawn from a family argument or a welfare check remain speculative. Rain Brown's legal troubles and their impact. Parallel to the controversy involving Ami are the legal troubles of her daughter, Rain, whose arrest has become intertwined with the broader narrative. Rain and her husband, Josiah Lorton, face multiple charges, including felony burglary, following accusations that they unlawfully entered a rental property and removed valuables. Rain has maintained her innocence and rejected allegations about her personal behavior. Supporters argue that her difficult upbringing, years in the spotlight, and the trauma of losing her father may contribute to the pressures she faces today. Critics contend that her actions reflect deeper, unresolved issues within the family. For Ami, the situation is especially painful. When she addressed drug allegations, she also implicitly acknowledged the strain of seeing one of her youngest children facing serious criminal charges. Those close to the family describe Ami as someone who worries deeply about her children, even amid conflict. It is widely believed that part of her decision to speak publicly was to stabilize the situation and prevent further escalation. As legal processes continue and public discussion intensifies, speculation has grown about whether the Brown family might eventually reconcile, at least privately, before further damage is done. Those familiar with the family believe reconciliation is possible, but unlikely until legal matters involving Rain and any ongoing welfare check follow-up are resolved. Family therapists consulted by entertainment outlets suggested that high-profile families frequently experience reconciliation only after one or more members seek counseling or mediation. They note that long-standing family trauma, public pressure, and conflicting narratives can create communication breakdowns that require structured intervention. For now, the Browns find themselves at a crossroads. Ami has spoken clearly but cautiously,
pushing back against the drug allegations while avoiding direct conflict with Noah. Noah has voiced concerns, but appears to be stepping back from public commentary, likely due to the legal sensitivity of recent events. Rain is preparing for court dates that will determine whether she and her husband face trial, plea negotiations, or dismissal. Other siblings remain publicly supportive of Ami, but largely quiet about the deeper family fractures. Observers expect that the next major developments will likely come from the legal arena, not from social media, family statements, or reality TV commentary channels. Despite the controversies, the Brown family remains one of the most recognizable faces in Discovery's reality programming legacy. Fans who followed their story from remote Alaskan landscapes to modern Washington life continue to express both sympathy and curiosity. The family's unique blend of wilderness independence, religious conviction, and close-knit identity made them compelling television, and now those same traits make their struggles difficult to turn away from. The central question remains whether Ami's effort to address the allegations will calm the situation, or whether more accusations, legal developments, or family disputes will emerge in the weeks ahead. For a family accustomed to surviving harsh elements, the emotional and legal storms they now face may be among the most challenging hardships yet. As the situation continues unfolding, individuals close to the Brown family, including former crew members, longtime friends, and extended relatives, have quietly shared additional insight with various media outlets. While none have spoken on the record due to the sensitivity of the legal issues, their collective perspectives help paint a clearer picture of how the Brown family reached its current state of public turmoil. One individual who worked with the family during their later seasons described the Browns as deeply loyal, but emotionally combustible, noting that disagreements often simmered under the surface during filming, but were typically resolved before cameras rolled. According to this source, the Browns frequently relied on Billy Brown's presence as a stabilizing force. After his death in 2021, many of those past tensions began resurfacing, not because the issues were new, but because the family had lost the central figure who once mediated conflicts almost instinctively. Another longtime acquaintance of the family told reporters that the current disputes were not surprising.